So today we're going to be changing out the spark plugs for this 2017 Toyota Corolla. In order to change out the spark plugs, you actually have to remove this plastic cover. This plastic cover surprisingly isn't mounted by anything. It's actually just a lift, and it just kind of like sits in there. So all you need to do is just gently lift it out, and it should just release the clamps. You can see over here, this is kind of where it's just tucking in from the bolts. It's like these kind of rubber grommets that just kind of hook onto these metal bolts here that just stick out, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so when you put it back, you just want to line up that oil filler plug, the engine dipstick, and then that's it. So we're going to pull this aside, and let me show you where you remove the coil packs. So over here, since this is a 4-cylinder engine, you are going to just take off these 10mm bolts, and that should allow you to remove the 4 coil packs. What I'm going to start with is actually just removing the engine harness, and so they're just connected by a few plugs. So we're a little closer now. I'm just going to pull out all the 4 plugs. Sometimes you can use some needle nose, but I can actually just take it off with my hand. You got to press the little plastic cap off first, and then start to pull it out, wiggle it off. A little hard for me to actually press down and pull. Actually got that one out too, and then you want to pull this one as well. Sometimes it's a little harder to pull off, so I like to take a flathead and just press it down while I'm pulling back. So I was able to take that out. So all the 4 wiring harnesses are taken out, and so we just need to remove the coil packs with the 10mm. And just loosen them all real quick. And this is the 4th cylinder coil pack, as you can see here. And you want to make sure the engine's cool. You want to make sure it cools for at least an hour. This has been probably cool for about 2 hours now, but the engine might be a little hot to touch, so you want to make sure it's not too hot to burn yourself, but as well as you want the engine and the spark plugs to seat correctly, so you want it as cool as it can be. So this is the 3rd cylinder, just pulled out the 4th earlier. Again, this is the coil pack. Cylinder 2 and cylinder 1. All right, so while the spark plugs are easy to insert, this 9/16 spark plug, one of the challenges is you have this little top part here. Sometimes you can get a spark plug with basically a swivel. These are just adapters that I have. While not the most ideal, this is the way I'm going to do it, just because the spark plug chambers for the Corolla isn't so deep, so it should be easy to grab if I need to. But basically, you can insert your 9/16 spark plug socket in there. It's a magnetic chamber, so it'll be able to pull out the spark plug easily. And you basically want to work 1 cylinder at a time. Let's start with cylinder 1. And basically, I'm going to start to swivel. And we're just basically turning it until the spark plug is loose. You can see that it's already out. Doesn't take much because they're only torqued at 20 Newton meters or 15 foot-pounds, and that's what you're going to be putting it back at. So you can see here that I've already loosened the spark plug. Because it's on a swivel joint, it's not butting up against the plastic windshield wiper cover. And when you take it out, you can see that the magnetic spark plug is holding it in place, as you see there. And we're going to just take the other 4 out. Same thing, 2nd cylinder. Just put it in there and start loosening it. And you see the other spark plug there, cylinder 2. All right, so these are the old spark plugs on the 2017 Toyota Corolla, also the 2014 to 2019 Corolla. You can see this is the part number if you wanted to get OEM ones. SC16HR11 Denso spark plugs, cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see a little bit of wear and tear. That's why we're going to replace them today. I'm actually going to use NGK laser Iridium. So these Denso ones are made from Iridium spark plugs. I also like to use those sometimes, but I actually prefer NGK laser Iridium spark plugs. So that's my go-to for pretty much all my JDM cars, my Subarus, my Hondas. I use this one. So this is the part number for it. So it's a DF6H11B or stock number 95993. Got at the local hardware store. NGK laser Iridium spark plugs. What do they look like? It comes in a set of 4. You want to replace 1 per cylinder, and has this little cardboard thing. That means you don't need anti-seize. Some people swear by anti-seize. NGK doesn't actually recommend you put anti-seize on their spark plugs. They worry about you over torquing it and it messes with the heat transfer. And they also have a coating on it that actually prevents the anti-seize anyways. But these are pre-gapped at 0.044 inches, so you don't have to gap them either. You could check them. I already checked them and they're fine, but this is basically the NGK laser Iridium spark plugs. A little different than the OEM than Denso, but they're pretty much what you need to replace them. Let's go ahead and get back into the car and we'll change these out. So we're ready to drop in the new spark plugs. I'm just going to drop them in one at a time, starting with the first cylinder. Magnetic, so I'm just going to put it on the spark plug adapter, the 9/16 one, and just drop them in. And I'm just going to hand tighten them by hand, just make sure it goes around. And I'll take that one out and I'll do the other 4. Pretty much the same procedure for all 4. You're just gonna drop them into the spark plug adapter socket and just drop them in. Again, you want to hand screw them in. Just make sure they don't cross thread. So just make sure you're very gentle and you keep it straight. And the last one, cylinder 4. All right, I'm pretty much going to torque it down at 20 newton meters or 15 foot-pounds. So I have it set at 15 here. And we'll let it kind of lock in place. Once the numbers stop blinking, it's set, it's back at 0. And I'm just going to do 4th cylinder first because it's closest to me. And I'm just going to spin it till it gets to 15 foot-pounds. That's 1. Switch it over to cylinder 3. Reset it. And then do 15 foot-pounds there too. All right, 2nd cylinder done. And then now the 1st cylinder. All right, all cylinders at 15 foot-pounds or 20 newton meters. And then now we can go ahead and put the coil packs back on. So at this point, I'm just going to put a little bit of this dielectric grease at the tips of, or at the end points of the coil packs right over here. They're not dry, you don't see any cracks, so they're good to reuse. And I don't like to put them on the spark plug ends themselves because then my spark plug tool will get pretty greasy. But I just put a little bit of dielectric grease at the end tips of each coil pack. That way it has a little bit more conductiveness to it. And then at that point, I just reinsert it. So that's cylinder 1, and I'm going to do the rest for all 4 of them. All right, at this point, I'm just going to hand tighten everything, the 10mm bolts. All right, and I just hand tighten everything with the 10mm bolt, and I'm just going to put the harnesses back on. Each socket electrical plug goes back on. And that's pretty much it. All right, so that's how you change your spark plugs for the 2017 Toyota Corolla. Also applies to the 2014 to 2019 Corolla. And all that's left is just putting the plastic cover back on. So you're just gonna line up these holes where the plug is. So it's pretty much just making sure the cap is secure, and that's it. That's pretty much it. And thanks for watching. Have a good one, and hopefully this was helpful.